Good evening, all you minties.
What's up, everybody?
Yes, we
This
are
is the
not late, Martian Pilgrim.
wait. Oh, okay. First of all, this is on me. It's my fault. I was talking, and we were trying to do a strategy plan on how to do this really quick. A
Exactly.
good way of doing this. We are assuming everyone has already seen this movie.
I'm assuming,
If you have not seen it, we are going to be talking about spoilers
like we
because
do all the time.
we have to talk about spoilers because that
Yes.
is what makes this movie. So, yes. Or if you don't care about spoilers, whatever, because we realize HBO Max is not available in every country. We were just told that. I did miss the announcements, man. Let me tell you something, Rebel by Design. By the way, I love this lady. She is amazing. And a badass, too, because I found out what she does for a living. So, the phone. You just remember the phone?
No, it was me doing this. Sorry, it was my hands.
Okay.
That wasn't the phone. I just touched
All right,
it.
we're done. Anyway, I was in the middle of updating my list for DC, and I started seeing a bunch of things like Absolute Fourth World 2 and Scott Snyder Batman 2. And then my buddy Brooks told me, hey, have you seen the things? And my buddy Patrick messaged me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm updating my list right now. And Brooks loves books. I love that guy, so I'm gonna give him a huge shout out when the video goes live tomorrow. He was just like, "I got this, man! Bam, 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 bam." I don't know how fast. I hate the catalog. I hate looking at that catalog, but I finally got all the stuff. So yeah, I'm ready to talk about it. So I wasn't late. I knew about it. I just didn't post it. I couldn't make a video real quick about it because we had this going on. So
Yeah.
We're waiting on Wonder Maddie too. By the way, she's going to join us, but she's having internet issues.
Omar, you
So
didn't put our names up. So speaking of which, hello everyone.
What?
We haven't
Yes, I did.
I don't see our names on here. I don't see
Well,
amazing.
they disappear. I mean, if you forgot who you is,
No,
I
I just
got you.
want
I
to be
got you. I got you.
So
Okay.
for those, just welcome everyone. I'm Amazing Amanda, my lovely co-host Uncanny Omar, and to officially welcome everyone because we kind of just ran into it. We are doing a review of Justice League: The Snyder Cut that premiered on HBO Max Thursday, March 18th.
Yes.
Sorry we couldn't do it immediately, but we already had planned the Falcon Winter Soldier episode 1 review on Friday, and I honestly couldn't really watch this 4-hour movie until at least the weekend. So
I think we wanted to give everybody some time to watch the movie because not everybody can watch it. A 4-hour movie is a long time to watch and then
unless
review
it's
on the
Return
same
of the
night.
King, and then it's like flies by like that.
I thought this flew by, but I guess we're gonna find out how we both
felt
about it.
We'll find out if I agreed with you on that.
We'll find out if y'all. Oh, okay. We'll give Maddie a few more minutes. So here's something we haven't talked about though, and then we can get everybody's perspective.
About the Hour Man movie, I don't see it until I believe it with Warner Brothers.
You know, I don't ever talk about DC movies because I don't believe half of the crap they're talking about. Okay, so one thing I haven't talked about is what did everybody think of the Justice League cut, like Joss Whedon's cut of Justice League?
Yes, yeah.
You and I never talked about it, but I literally
never did.
Watched it like 2 days before this movie came out just
to
prep
myself.
myself.
I thought, should I watch it? And I said, well, I don't want my viewing of this to be marred.
It helped. It helped.
It was amazing to see how. Oh, I remember that from the original movie. I remember that. Like to get the. Obviously, there's different things, right? Because it's Zack Snyder's cut. There's no jokes. There's plenty of. It looks like it never. The sun never rises. In his landscapes, it's permanently cloudy skies. Where this in the Snyderverse. But that's fine. That's his motif. So it is what it is.
Okay, going back to Joss Whedon's cut though. We both saw it in the theater. I was working out of state, and I still went to go see it like opening midnight. It was like
I think I lived out of state.
I did not mind as much as other people did. Like people hated that movie, like hated it, and I thought it was. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was horrible. I just thought it was okay. And I've seen it twice now. Once in the theater. I just never watched it again.
I didn't think it was as bad as other DC movies. I mean, like Suicide Squad. But it was like, okay. It was okay.
Yeah. So just out of curiosity, from what you remember, from what everybody else remembers, so we can compare the two, because we have to, because that is the point of this. What would you
Yes.
give Joss Whedon's cut of Justice League? Not compared to this, just as a movie by itself. What would you all give Justice League out of 10?
I probably would have given
Joss
it a
Whedon.
6 out of 10.
A 6 out of 10. Everybody else in the chat, what would you give the original Justice League by Joss Whedon? That cut. 3 out of 10. Okay, fair enough. I honestly, I'd give it like a 5.5 out of 10.
Leo, you should know where Jack is. Where is
Aren't
Jack?
you Jack? Aren't you Jack, Leo?
Jack? But to be fair, Jack hasn't posted about the Justice League Snyder cut on his Instagram for I don't even know how long.
Is he okay? Is Jack okay?
Yeah, is Jack okay?
Can we get a...
Joel gave it a 6 like I did. Phil Owens gave it a 1 out of 10 for the Whedon cut.
Whoa. Salt 2
Dennis gave it a 4 out of 10.
Need I remind you? I gave Catwoman a 1 out of 10 because of the lighting. The lighting was good. That's what
Matt Gorsh gave it a 6.
Jessica gave it a 5.
Boosters the name gave it a 2. Gave it a 2. It's just Nick gave it a solid 5. So I'm seeing a lot of
5-ish.
4s, 5s.
Now we're talking about Whedon cut, the original.
No,
Whedon
I know.
cut.
Yeah, I know that's what they're all
for anybody that's coming in. That's
for anyone coming in. We're not talking about Snyder yet. We're just talking about 7.5 for
Marcelo. That was Marcelo.
Oh, thank you, honey.
That's not funny, Corey. People are struggling out there.
Hilarious.
It ain't that funny. You already did these, MD, and then
no
3.
Cyborg out. Oh no, I say no Cyborg out of 10. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Oh, Phil Owens, I gave it a 1 because it ended. Oh,
it's rough. Like you were hurting, huh?
Yeah,
you were hurting. Let's see. All right, I've always been curious as to what people gave that movie, and then right before we talk about this movie, I wanted to see what everybody thought. Like, hey, it wasn't that good. It wasn't because this to me felt like
Dean
a different movie.
3 out of 10 because there's the Superman versus Justice League. So Dean, I'm interested because obviously that's still a scene in Snyder Cut. So I'm interested to see what you feel, if you feel like that with the additional scenes in addition to that, if it made a difference for you.
What's up, Maddie?
Hey Maddie.
How's your internet? You okay now?
We will see. Hopefully, I've had some issues streaming lately.
Oh,
you have Metronet?
Yeah.
Well, Omar,
I don't want to hear
trouble with it.
I don't.
I have AT&T and it's just fine.
Oh, quit! This AT&T did not sponsor this episode. Maddie,
no,
what?
Neither did Metronet.
they will one day. What we were talking about the Joss Whedon cut before we talk about this movie. What would you give the Joss Whedon cut? I gave it a 5.5. Amanda gave it a 6. Most people in the chat is anywhere from a 1 to a 7. I don't think there's a lot of. I don't see anybody loving it. What would you give the Joss Whedon cut?
5, 6, 7s.
7.5 for Marcelo.
Yeah, I'd say like a 3 or a 4. Honestly,
okay. 3.
It was just not it was not the Justice League.
So would you have said 3.5 is fair? 3.5 then?
Yeah, we'll say 3.5.
All right.
Yeah, Chris is right. AT&T kind of did sponsor.
Well, they did. They wrote him a check, so I guess they did kind of sponsor him.
They also sponsor my internet tonight, guys. So,
you're anyway. All right.
I'm paying for it. They're not sponsoring it. I pay them monthly for that stuff.
Since we are assuming everybody has already seen this movie, all 4 hours of it, 4 different times, so we can talk about it. And we're just gonna jump right into it. Let's just talk about the 6 different chapters really quick, what each one of them represent, and then we'll talk bam, what our thoughts were on in this cut, right? And whether it worked or whether it did not work for you all.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, so we start off with our prologue. Gone is Superman and his CGI'd mouth. And basically, we're kind of getting our prologue set up to what is going to happen in the movie. We're getting the flashback of Superman, dying to Doomsday, all that stuff. So we kind of have our prologue being set up with that, with leads into part 1, which is Don't Count on It, Batman. So then we get to see Batman coming to a little small village in Iceland, just like we did before, to try to recruit Aquaman. We got a really awesome extended scene too of an Icelandic poem being sung as Aquaman goes back into the ocean. But we could talk
3 minutes long.
Yes, we could talk about how I feel about the music choices.
We can wait.
Because God bless.
Wait.
So this section is just setting everything up, and it ends with the mother box with the Amazons getting opening up basically, and Steppenwolf coming out in the big fight scene with Steppenwolf and all the Amazons. And that kind of then leads into our next segment, which is the Age of Heroes. So this is where we're introduced again to Diana and so I keep, by the way, we leave our closed captions on because my father-in-law needs them on to help because his English isn't that great, and we just leave them on all the time. And so every time Wonder Woman or the Amazons come on screen, Ancient Lamentations shows up, and now I can never unhear the sound of the Ancient Lamentations. So it's a running joke for myself when I watch this movie. The Ancient Lamentations.
Tavon, Omar, can I sniff your vest like she did Aquaman's shirt? Yes, you can.
Yes, she was very serious. She loved it so much. So we see they have the arrow of Artemis. They go and light the fire that while men do not know what it means, she will, of course, which is, of course, Diana. We do get a really awesome scene of her fighting in a bank, and cute little scene of a little girl saying, I want to be like, how can I be like you? And she's like, princess, you could be anything you want to be. You know, the obligatory female empowerment stuff they have there. And then you see her and go to Batman, and of course she breaks into his lair, and he's building his like team rocket that he's getting ready to use, his troop transport, I guess. And she eventually tells him about, they call the Age of Heroes, where the men, the Atlanteans, the Amazons, the people from space, which is the Green Lantern, probably who was over that sector at the time, and then the gods. We could just like Zeus and stuff.
We did see them in the original cut too. It was just quick because there wasn't.
We see more of them in this. Yes.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more.
Yeah, I didn't even in the original cut. I don't remember seeing them in the original cut, but I remember them in this.
Well, there was a lot more half-naked dudes in this part than there was in the original Whedon cut, because I just watched that like on Wednesday right before this movie, so it was just weird to have it in the Whedon cut. Whereas this, we had a narrative from her explaining the fight that has happened before.
Yes,
it was just thrown in there in the Whedon cut, and it felt so weird and out of place. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're fine. And so basically, she hints at they were there because of a secret purpose, which we come to find out later is the anti-life equation. But they're able to stop them from synchronizing the mother boxes, and it looks like they almost killed Darkseid, but of course they can't, and they manage to escape, and they leave the mother boxes on Earth. So the Atlanteans take one, the Amazons take one, and the men of Earth take one, and so they've been hidden away, right? But all the boxes are now starting to, well, at least we know the Atlantean one and the Amazon one are starting to kind of make some noise. So she's basically, we need help. And of course he had gone to Aquaman, who wasn't really willing to help. And he has two more recruits. Of course, one of them is Barry Allen and the other one is Cyborg. Mm-hmm. And so that's where we get to our part 3, which is Beloved Mother, Beloved Son. And that's where we get a lot more of Cyborg's backstory than we definitely got in Joss Whedon's, which makes a lot of sense because in reality, he's so connected to the mother boxes. It makes complete sense that his backstory over the other heroes, like we're going to see Flash's backstory in the Flash movie. We ended up seeing Aquaman's in the Aquaman story. We ended up seeing Wonder Woman's in the Wonder Woman story or in the Wonder Woman movie, but Cyborg doesn't have a movie. So to see his backstory here makes a lot more sense. And I'm glad we got more of it. And so you see, he's a smart kid, wants to do well. He's good at his football. He's really good at obviously hacking into computers and changing his friends' grades, but for the greater good, right? Not because he's just doing it because of the greater good. But of course, then we see the car accident where him and his mother, his mother dies and he's almost killed. But of course, his father decides, good idea. I'm going to take this mother box and I'm going to make my son into a cyborg where he can access any computer in the world. And it's really up to him on whether or not he wants to use that power and how he's going to use it for good or bad. And so obviously he's not talking to his father. He's upset with him, especially because why would you save me and not try to save mom, all that stuff. So they have that going on. And we also get introduced to Barry. and he's trying to get a job as a dog walker. And I guess he meets Iris West, which if you're not, if you're a regular person coming into this, you may not know who that girl is. But for those who are DC fans, you probably be like, oh, it's Iris West. And then he has a really weird scene where he has to save her. And I think it's supposed to be romantic, but for me, it was just really super awkward. Especially because the song choice was kind of awkward in it.
The worst song choice of any scene I've ever watched in any movie ever.
It was just
Ever.
The soundtrack was
Nick Cave did that. No, not Nick Cave didn't do that song. He did the song with Aquaman where he drinks the stuff and he goes into the sea.
I like the weird song better.
And he did the sad song that they did when they show, because throughout all these parts they have interspersed of Lois just dealing with her grief. Obviously she hasn't been back to work in a while. We have Martha selling the farm and leaving the farm, and like they have another Nick Cave song as she's drinking her coffee and Lois being sullen. So we have that too. But yeah, the song choices were not one of my favorite things about this movie. So anyways, he saves Iris, and then we're introduced. Then when he gets back there, but they separate. So basically, Wonder Woman goes to recruit Cyborg, or is going to recruit Cyborg, and Batman goes to recruit the Flash because he's a young kid. Of course, he's going to be, dazzled by rich Bruce Wayne, especially when Bruce Wayne, just like he did in the other one, reveals that he is Batman. And so, of course, without hesitation, the Flash joins him. And for Wonder Woman, there's a really cute scene where she's trying to make tea, but I don't know why you make tea with a British man right there, because that's a mistake, because Alfred could not handle it. He just couldn't handle her making tea. It was just not, he did not like it. He had so many other things about it. But then that's when she, Lyndon, I'm talking. No, I cannot help you right now.
Is there a monster chasing her?
No, I don't know what she's doing.
Because the correct answer is no.
Yeah.
If it's Darkseid.
It's not Darkseid.
Okay.
I promise you that. So basically, Cyborg hacks into Bruce Wayne's computer system, gets Wonder Woman to meet them. So she goes and meets him. He doesn't really go with her at the time, right? So he's still trying to figure out if he wants to be a hero or not. And that's what leads into the Change Machine, when they finally all unite and they go to the lair, because Victor's father is pretty much
it's all spoiler. We're assuming everybody has already seen the movie.
Yeah, I'm just not going into a detailed synopsis because it's a 4-hour movie. So we're just gonna go,
and that would be an 8-hour synopsis.
Didn't like, yeah, and I can't do that. So then, so basically, then we get to that big fight scene in their little like hideout lair where they have all of the people they have kidnapped who have the scent of the mother box in there. And I'm sure I also forgot, Volko makes an appearance, and that they do get Aquaman has to go and defend the mother box in Atlantis, even though they still steal it. That stuff happens too. So they have a big fight scene. Of course they lose, but they do manage to save the hostages. So they decide they're going to use this change machine to bring back Superman. And that's when we get into All the King's Horses, which is a part 5. They bring back Superman, but of course, Cyborg kind of has like a vision of Superman going evil and working with Darkseid. And he's like, before he can stop him, it's too late. They've already pretty much brought him back to life, but of course he's having memories. So then there's that fight, Superman versus the Justice League, and he almost destroys parts of Metropolis. But thankfully, Lois Lane shows up, and he just takes her and flies away. And they're like, well, what are we going to do now? So he has a moment in the field like he did before. They have a discussion. Also, there's a hint that Lois Lane is pregnant, and I think Zack Snyder this week confirmed that she was pregnant in an interview. So, because they show a pregnancy stick.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Huh?
I noticed the pregnancy.
Yeah, and he confirmed that she was in fact pregnant. So, so her and Superman, they have a little reunion. He starts to remember everything, and then of course Martha comes back to the house. He takes her back to the old farmhouse, and so then he has a really cool scene where he's in his Fortress of Solitude, and there's all
I love that scene.
Different Superman.
Unlockable
outfits and stuff. What are you gonna put on? But he puts on the black suit, which is pretty cool.
And all he needed was a mullet.
Great scene.
He just needed a mullet, and I was like,
I'm kind of glad he didn't have a mullet though. But Henry Cavill, if anyone could rock it, it'd be him. I'm trying to finish.
Where's the chocolate?
I don't know where you put it, baby. It's in the car.
I swear to God, if that's true,
What?
I remember
No,
Amanda saying that.
the original. I thought the original story he was going to make him the father, but I think in this version, it actually is Clark. I think it was supposed to be Zack Snyder he had said he had toyed with the idea of Bruce being the father, but did not do that.
I was wondering how long ago Superman had died, because they talked about it. Bruce had talked about Clark being gone for a year. So if that's true, why does she have pregnancy? Did she just not clean it? Like the desk, the table? Like a pregnancy test there?
Maybe she wanted to keep it because she don't believe it. I don't know. Okay, so finally, obviously, he comes back into himself. Part 6 is something darker. This is our final scene. The 5 members of the Justice League get together. They develop a plan on what they're going to do to try to stop him from Steppenwolf from synchronizing the mother boxes. And of course, we get the big scene. They break through the barrier. They're fighting a bunch of parademons. They're working together as a team really well. They manage to get Cyborg there, and he gets into the mother boxes and trying to control them. And Barry's trying to create this electric charge, but of course, he gets shot by a parademon. And he has to heal really fast, but he can't. But luckily, during that whole part, Superman comes and he does this scene that I know Omar loves, where he said he's not impressed by Steppenwolf. He breaks off one of his fingers.
Oh my God! You don't. That scene was so badass, dude. I clapped. I was like, "Fuck yeah, Superman, dude!" He blows his cold breath on that axe and busts it after saying not impressed. What a badass intro! Oh, I loved it. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, and so eventually,
it looks like
then we see a portal opening up. It looks like Darkseid. I'm assuming that other person is Granny Goodness, and of course,
absolutely Granny Goodness.
Yes, and then Desaad, who we've seen multiple times throughout the film. He's like
who's his voice actor? That voice sounded familiar. I figured you would know.
No, I know Randy Porter was the voice of Darkseid, but I don't remember who Desaad was.
Peter Guinness. That's who it is.
Okay, that sounds familiar. Yeah. So
he has a very unique voice. He was also in Alien 3. Is Hayden here tonight?
How you know?
Is Hayden here tonight? Anyway.
I haven't seen him yet. And so
Elliot said skinny mini goodness. We were both kind of upset. We're like, there's no bones of Granny Goodness. That's not my Granny Goodness.
She'll be recasted. She'll be recast.
If they do it anyway.
If they do that.
We got to make it happen. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, okay. And so so basically once Barry heals, he realizes he has to go fast. He has to break the rules. And he goes faster than the speed of light, kind of manages, I'm assuming, to turn back time a little bit. And he gets to the point where he can do the electric charge on Cyborg. And then Cyborg has this cool inner moment where his family and his old self are like, just come with us, come to the dark side, just die, it's okay. And he's like, no. And then
it was a lot more meaningful than that.
Well, it was, but I'm just trying to be
my broken child.
Doing her best. She's got to run through it.
I'm just trying to get through it. I'm trying to break before the 30-minute mark.
That was a really good moment, though, for Cyborg, I thought. Like,
it was. Well, there's a lot of great moments in this movie for Cyborg that weren't in the original.
Oh, yeah.
I can talk about all of them. Okay. So he manages to break apart the mother boxes, and then they have this really awesome scene where they are beating up Steppenwolf, and then Aquaman stabs him with his little pitchfork. Or
pitchfork.
And as he throws him, Wonder Woman jumps up and slices his head off. And it comes through the barrier, and his headless body and his head roll onto the floor of Darkseid's little hideout, wherever Darkseid's hanging out, his palace or wherever. And so the portal closes, and Mother's boxes are now down for the count, and Steppenwolf is dead. But of course, Darkseid's like, guess we're going to have to do it the old way, because he knows the anti-life equation is on Earth. And so obviously that would, if they were doing a sequel, would step for a sequel. And then we kind of have our, we don't get the scene with Superman and Flash going as fast as they can. But we do get some nice moments with Superman and Bruce. Bruce helps them get the family farm back. And then Bruce gets an interesting visit from, well, first he has a nightmare scene that is very interesting indeed. It takes place, I'm assuming, in the future of this universe, if it happens, where Superman has gone bad and is working with Darkseid. And it looks like we have villains and heroes working together. We have certain heroes have obviously died, like Aquaman. And and Lois Lane is dead as well. And then you have this really interesting moment with what his version of Jared Leto's The Joker, because honestly, I was wondering at this point, they kept talking about it. Where was he this whole movie? And he shows up at the very end. So that was a really interesting scene to which he wakes up. And then he gets a visit from the Martian Manhunter, who's basically like, I'm going to keep an eye. I'll be in touch and all that stuff. And then he flies away, and that's the movie.
I thought the Martian Manhunter scene should have been kept to the end. I hated the idea of having
he showed up with Lois Lane.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense when
it only makes sense if they're setting up another movie, which is probably what they were doing, right? They were going to set up another movie, and they were like, Martian Manhunter was going to be in it, which is cool. But it was just really weird because at one time, Lois Lane and Martha are going to have a conversation. She's like, I'm so glad you did that pep talk with me. Thanks for looking out. Good looking.
Yeah.
And Martha's going to be like, what? And you're going to be like, I
was excited to see him, but not because it made sense in the movie at all. Just because I'm happy to see
he didn't become help. Why wasn't he helping?
So is that a
exactly
retcon then to Man of Steel? Because he was sitting there
and been like, have him show up at the end and be like, hey, you guys did all this. It gave me the courage just to show up. I just want you to know that I'm here to help out.
Yeah,
that makes sense. But
he didn't help out in Man of Steel either.
Yeah, it's just so strange.
Well, they've been building up the whole idea of Lois being an important person, and I think that definitely plays heavy in the first half. Second half, they completely not forgot about it, but I think it's probably setting up something else because we see her bones, like Superman holding her. That was a messed up scene with Cyborg, like in that dark. It almost feels like we're getting an Injustice movie, like Superman going bad.
Going for, I feel like
it was
and that may be what gets. So I feel like my opinions can be a little bit different than some other people here, but I feel like he read a bit of Injustice and was like, "Yep, this is it." A nice boy Superman, the real Superman, nah. We're going to make it so he doesn't care about all of humanity. He just cares about Lois. Ooh, and then she's going to die, and then he's going to go evil.
Yep.
Killed it. Snyder out. And that was what his whole thing was.
Do you think it was that busy? I don't know. I think,
I love Injustice.
Well, I do too. And it's not like the concept of Injustice is unique in any kind of way. We've seen an evil Superman. I kind of dig that future scene. I thought that was cool. I thought it might be a cool setup to nothing that may come of it because, who knows where this is going to go.
I just wish it was like an Elseworlds thing. I love the idea of getting a movie with the Justice League. At this point, it is an Elseworlds. But I just want the Justice League being the Justice League, but in live action.
Mm-hmm.
I want the animated movie treatment that gives me my real Justice League, but in live action. I'd do that first and then be like, hey, surprise, here's the Elseworlds. And I'd be like, yeah. Dope, let's do it.
But at this point, the Snyder Cut is an Elseworld because we're not Warner Brothers even today came out and said they don't plan on doing anything future with the Snyder stuff. Even if Zack Snyder said he'd be open to it, now they can change their mind because that's just Warner Brothers, and nothing they have is permanent until it's literally being aired as a trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
So it could always change, but. He has Army of the Dead coming out soon, so we'll be seeing that, I think, in May. And, Zack Snyder's got other stuff going on, too. He's not like he's an out-of-work director by any means.
Yeah, no. For sure.
Let's go ahead and get it out of the way. I thought this was a better movie than Joss Whedon's by, a lot. I really like this movie.
I think everyone can agree that this is better than the original.
The
best version.
Not Joss Whedon. Not Joss Whedon.
Wait, but Joss Whedon has no room to talk at this point.
All right. What about?
See, my problem is I can admit it is a better movie than the original, but to call it by what everyone's saying a masterpiece, the best type of superhero movie ever, the superlative all superlative superhero movies, guys, I can't agree with that. I can't agree with that. There are still filming aspects I do not like about the film. It's just. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just something. It's still not it's not. I don't dig it like everyone else is. It's not up to what I would consider a superior, amazing. Is it amazing that Zack Snyder got to fulfill his vision? Yes, that is amazing because not a lot of people get to do that. Is it amazing fans got what they wanted? Yes, that is amazing. Does that mean it's going to be an amazing product? It was not to me.
I agree. I think it's better than it was. This is definitely a Zack Snyder thing. He really
100%.
went in on it on the cinematography. I don't think this is the most interesting version of the Justice League. I love the Justice League. I think there's so many wonderful things about the characters in here. I don't think he really got them. Like, as someone who really loves Superman, that's not my Superman. And Batman would have kept his mask on with the rest of this crew, and they didn't get to build up. But I am very, very thankful that we got more character development than we got before. Yes. The Cyborg stuff was great. I still not my favorite Cyborg ever. I think it was still interesting, but that's not the heart of DC for me. And so I think it's really hard for me to watch it and be like, what is this group? I see what he's doing. Yeah. It's his vision, but you can see where like he also, doesn't know how to write certain types of characters. Yes. He didn't want to write Superman as Superman really is. That's not his type of Superman. He wants the alien.
Yes.
And he doesn't want Cyborg to be the happier Cyborg. Yes.
There's definitely no booyah. He said hell yeah, but he never said booyah. Like, there was a good chance for it. You said hell yeah. You could have said booyah.
You dropped the F-bomb.
And then Batman seems to kill people. No, but
he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. That's what he said.
And then Batman would never. There's no like. I can't. We'll get to that. But like, and then he doesn't know how to deal with comedy well either. So you can see with the Flash, even though we got more Flash development at the times when the Flash was funny or different or whatever,
which he had to be because that's his character. They can't make him serious.
Yeah, but he still didn't know exactly how to do that either, which is why I got that weird music, which is why the jokes didn't land this time. Like they did before.
Yeah, and they didn't have
You guys like the brunch joke? I hated that joke. That like ruined.
No, she's saying it didn't land like it did before.
The jokes just didn't land at all.
They didn't land at all.
Oh, I disagree. I like Barry in this. I hated him in the Joss Whedon cut because
I feel like he was the same. I still feel like he was very much the same, but I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's still not my Barry.
He was none of these characters are my characters. None of the Avengers are my Avengers.
And we're like, well, the Flash is what we've got, so this is what it'll be.
But that's the thing. That's the thing with comic books, though. Like comic book movies are a lot different. Look at the Avengers. Like even the Avengers kill people and have no issues with it. You're talking about a kid, one of the most purest characters in comic books, has a death mode on his suit. Like to me, that's insane. But so. You have to separate it because if you don't separate it, then you're gonna get like.
Well, then I am. So here's me because I don't have a connection to these characters like Maddie does. I read Marvel. I don't read.
Yeah.
So I still didn't like the movie as much as I'm sure a lot of people did because it wasn't for me about the characters, more like the writing, the way certain scenes were put together. I didn't necessarily like the flow. I didn't like how randomly they would just show a scene of Lois being sullen. It was just like he wanted to get all these scenes in there. I didn't enjoy his choice of songs to play during certain things. I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
I'm with you on that.
Artsy indie thing you're trying to, I got it. Okay. Like that to me doesn't need to be in a superhero film unless you're going all in. And this is dark side in it. This isn't a grounded down to earth Joker movie. This has dark side and aliens in it. Okay. I don't know how you could really make that grounded with those Nick Cave indie songs or a 3-minute Icelandic thing with him going into the ocean. It's just I have no connection to DC. I'm not a like crazy fanatic, and I still didn't enjoy it. And I would have liked to see different. I don't care the characters. I love Ben Affleck as Batman. I am glad I saw more of him. Okay, I love it. I am mad that because of Justice League, his movie got canceled, and of course,
I don't think it was because of Justice League.
Like that. Well, I know.
Wasn't it because of everything that DC
and
WB does?
His divorce from Jennifer Garner, all that stuff. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of that played a part into it too.
I like Batfleck. Like honestly,
he said it almost killed him though. Like it was writing Batman almost killed him. Like because he was stressed out. It was the hardest thing he ever had to do.
Because it's stressful to do.
It's almost as if like
because you have comic book comic book fans that you need to please.
Yes, that's hard.
Absolutely. Yeah, he was awesome in this. And I'm glad that they took away all the little things that Joss Whedon gave him, like the little quippiness. Like there was no Batman quippiness. Like when he had
He
his
didn't
bat
need to
suit
be
on.
quippy. The only thing he did is
No,
say,
because
"I'm
we already
rich,"
had we already had
Yeah.
Barry. We don't need all these characters. And to an extent, Aquaman was like that too.
Although I am
It
sad they
wasn't the
took
James
out.
Wan version.
I didn't realize until Elliot pointed out, but I was sad that they took out the that little scene with the lasso and Aquaman.
Oh, that was totally a Whedon scene. You could tell.
Well,
It
yeah,
was
that
totally a
was.
Whedon scene, but I thought it was cute. But I know that there's no room for that type of humor in this, but I did miss it a little bit.
I liked it. I liked it too.
I feel like I didn't get a lot of Aquaman in this, which is fine. I'm glad we built up the other characters, but I didn't.
Definitely built the other characters up.
Dude, I loved like the special effects in this were awesome. Like in the Themyscira, that chase scene looks so much better. Like with Steppenwolf looks awesome in that. Like it looks so weird to me at first because I was like, when I saw it, I'm like, that's a little 90s. That's a little much. I don't like characters with a bunch of spikes coming out of their body and shininess. That looks ridiculous. But when I saw the motion, when I saw him just brutally cut people in half in the Amazons, that was such a badass scene. Like at least to me, where all the women are fighting him and he's just cutting
that
horses,
was a good scene.
smacking them. But the part that I really liked about all that was, the graphics stayed throughout the whole video, like the whole movie. Although that was a better. How much was it again? 33 million?
70 million is what they spent extra.
Okay, well it shows.
They probably had to pay like what's his name? Willem Dafoe to come back to shoot the Volko scene.
That Mira scene, she finally used her powers the way that the freaking comics intended her to use, where she is like when she's fighting Steppenwolf, she puts him in that bubble and she is sucking all the liquid out of him.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was like, yes, there were a lot of yes moments for me. Maybe, and it was a movie that I wasn't like, I wasn't going. I didn't think I was going to.
Those are her original powers. Like as a person who doesn't read a lot, I wouldn't have known the difference of what she would have used or not. To be like, yes, oh, she's using her powers. I wouldn't know the difference.
You can't tell if somebody controls water, can't use pull water out of anywhere.
I didn't know that would be her power. I didn't know she had powers.
But this was a movie. I will say I did not go into it thinking I'm gonna enjoy this. I just thought, dude. Okay, let's talk about that. Did she have an accent?
It was bad.
Man, she is just like Johnny Depp with his fake ass accent.
Dude,
but I thought it was a character.
I do agree with you, Omar, that there's a lot of overall, this movie's not for me. And I feel comfortable saying that. Yeah. But there were some bits that were better that I enjoyed. Like I liked the way that the scene with Wonder Woman when she first shows up changes. I liked the way she moves. I thought that was really fun and cool. I liked seeing Martian Manhunter. I still like the scene where Barry's running around Superman and he looks at him. I think that's still cool. Awesome. And some of the fighting scenes were cool. I loved all the cyborg stuff where he envisions the stuff and he uses his ability.
Love those scenes. Yeah.
Those were really cool, and the extra world
how
building.
You envision his powers, but that makes a perfect sense to me. Yeah,
very, very cool. So I did like that. Although I saw a couple of I watched a couple of videos about people's feelings about the movie, and they were joking about how we realized that Cyborg has this ability to change bank and control all the financial things, and he just gives this woman just some money.
Like all of it.
That's it. He's just
give it to someone else. What about his friend Sarah, whose mom lost her house or parents lost their house? Give more money to her instead of changing her grades. Give for the money now.
It's a start, right? He doesn't want to break the banks.
Yeah. Ryan Choi did show up, which is Adam. So that's a cool little Easter egg. So
I know Gail Simone was really happy about that.
Yeah, she was
tweeting like crazy about.
Spoiled me before I watched it, and I was like, Gail, because I didn't watch it till Friday night. Come on.
I liked him. It was very small role, but I thought it was pretty cute. I liked.
Yeah.
I will tell you the thing.
Says that overall this movie is still a movie if people have attention problems. I have attention problems.
It was the first. I remember texting Omar. I said, I'm about 2 hours in, and man,
he was quoting Superman going, not impressed. She was not impressed with the first
that was the last hour of the film.
I watched it with Jessica Ashcraft over Teleparty, and we were both just going back and forth. We watched a movie. We sure did. 4 hours.
Yeah.
I will tell you what I didn't like. Because there's a lot of this movie that I really did enjoy. It took me a minute to get used to the 4x3 the 4x3 format, which
Yeah.
actually it kind of made me wish I could see Avengers in that format. I could
Honestly,
see
I didn't have an
other
issue
movies.
with it, but
But
I didn't
your
think
eyes are
about
so
it.
used to widescreen, right? You're used to
I guess,
widescreen,
yeah.
and
Maybe
if
because of
you-
that
if you-
WandaVision episode, I'm no longer adjusted
Oh,
to.
or- well,
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about it. Like,
honestly,
I forgot very
you get
quickly.
depending on how it's shot, sometimes you get more of the picture like that in the 4x3 aspect than you do the widescreen aspect. But that took me a little bit to get used to, but it was cool. I really dug it.
Yeah.
I think the movie could have been probably 3 to 3.5 hours, and we still would have been okay. There were a lot of useless scenes in there.
Yeah.
I really did not like the choice of music. I understand because it's Zack Snyder. I get it.
The only one I
Just-
understood was that his use of Hallelujah, and that's because
Oh,
it's
yeah,
his daughter's
absolutely.
favorite song.
Yeah.
So that I get.
Yeah.
That's
And all the
fine.
Amazon music was cool. Every time Wonder Woman did anything,
But I can't. But now I can only.
I liked it.
see
I liked it.
limitations every time she fights. It's so hard.
There are a couple of songs that were okay. I'm trying to think of what else I did not like. I mean, these. I don't understand the importance of Lois Lane at the beginning. What her character arc was supposed to be, because I don't think Zack Snyder also
They
did
didn't
not
use her.
know how
I thought
to
they were
use
going to
her.
use her more, but I don't feel like she was used very much.
No.
Except she could have literally just shown up as the catalyst to help him remember who he was at that fight scene. I don't. What was the point of her? You need to go back to work. You need to get out there and do your thing. Like
It might have been better to keep the Whedon part where at least Batman had brought her there. Otherwise, it was weird that she was there at all.
Yeah.
Not that I like any of that scene. I hate the whole Superman coming back and not knowing people, and the only thing that fixes him is Lois. He's literally spent his entire life on Earth. Why would his go-to be like, I am alien man and you are humans and I will fight you? Only this woman I love.
That's from the comics, though. That's exactly
dumb.
from. I'm not disagreeing, but that's from the comic books. Like anytime you want to take him out, you get Lois Lane or his mom or dad.
Yeah,
but that shows his human heart. But
I got to show it. Go ahead.
I really didn't have an issue with anything else. I was okay with it. I thought it was a lot of fun. But you two seem to have more issues than I did. What besides the music? You know what? I could have done without the edginess. I didn't have to have the edginess of like the F-bombs and stuff. Like,
well, I mean, I didn't care about that. I mean, that was fine.
And even Jared Leto's cackle still gets on my nerves. Like even like no.
But I do like that version better than
a little more
version on Suicide Squad. So
a little more
for sure.
And I'll admit, once that nightmare scene to me, if that was the whole movie, I would have been like, "This is at least cool. This is different."
Oh, absolutely. You know what? I agree. Actually,
yeah,
I hate
because it would have been
Jared
cool.
Leto Joker. But if that was the whole movie, like Mad Max, Injustice, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. But
you all know I hate Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor.
Oh yeah, which we still got to see him
in this.
That same scene with him in
this. They expanded that scene.
They did.
And you get to find out that there's more to Deathstroke and Batman. Like that's the movie that I wish I could see.
Yes. Can we talk about this? The races stored the mother boxes based on their culture. Amazon's Atlanteans create heavily guarded, sturdy shrines. The Europeans bury it less than 6 feet, and they barely buried.
Is that based on history, like what we do in real life?
I guess that's what happened. That's what they did.
That's in the scene. They just were like, "Nah, 6 feet's fine for this very important thing."
That's what the Middle Ages. That's what they did.
Hey, I will take that over the Whedon cut of Batman going, there's these things called parademons, and if you blow them up, look, there's 3 boxes.
And that's another thing. There's like random scenes, like so the parademon sketches, like the whole kidnapping thing. Like, could it be Batman? Like that was just. There could have been another way. Like, do they need to talk to Gordon at all? Like
how they took out Steppenwolf in this was so much better than the.
I agree with that. Like
absolutely.
I said, the last hour, that fight scene was so much better. And then the nightmare scene was, I thought, one of my favorite parts of
what? Omar, that was apparently the movie that Affleck was wanting to make. Batfleck and versus Deathstroke. I would love to see that, man. when he's
or
like,
the Injustice one, because that also would have been something I would have loved to see.
well, no, like where he's talking about his eye. He's like, "You got your eye, didn't you?"
Yes.
No, even Lex Luthor was a little more tolerable in this, and all they did was just show like the entire scene instead of just showing close-ups of Jesse Eisenberg's face. But
Ross had a good thing. All of the slow-mo throughout the film negate the impact of the Flash abilities and actions. I kind of agree with that, because why did he choose only to do he is quick. We could have seen some scenes, some of them like more.
My wife was mentioning that
in fast motion.
I don't know how you would do it without making it look. I don't know how you can do fast scenes without making it look hokey. It's
then the bummer.
When Quicksilver does it.
They did the same thing in Days of Future Past. They did the same thing to slow it down, which makes it look artsy and better. You know,
does it?
I think
would it have been more noticeable? Would it have been more tolerable if there weren't already so many slow-mo sequences?
See, that might have been the problem.
Slow-mo of the water as Aquaman takes off the cap, he's drinking his bottle and is like, "My lost kingdom," and he jumps into the ocean. I'm sorry.
I love this.
I know people absolutely love this film.
No, he does run funny.
My wife said the same thing. Well, no, and he does this thing with his fingers, like where he's like,
"Are you talking about Ezra Miller?"
Yes, Ezra Miller. My wife pointed that out, and I was like, "Well, I can't look at that scene the same way again." I thought it was a really nice scene.
It was so funny.
Anyone else notice the weird Steppenwolf puppy eyes? Maybe without his helmet. You talking about like when he got his helmet cut off? Is that what we're talking about?
I think so.
I don't know if I don't
when
think
you realize he lost.
I don't think I'd give him cute puppy dog eyes, but he was cuter without it. What are your thoughts on the hot dog scene? I've seen that happen. I thought the scene leading up to that was really cute. They were having a moment.
It was.
They were having a long ass moment. You know?
Yes, and it was awkward because the song was very awkward. The way the song it chose, it's about unrequited love, but they just met, right? So how can it be like long unrequited love? I'm assuming they just met, but then again, we don't have that much backstory about the Flash. But I looked it up because I looked at like what songs played, and the whole song is about unrequited love, but they just met, like.
Yeah, I feel like a better choice. I know that Snyder runs away from like humor in a lot of his movies, but I feel like a better choice, even though he doesn't want to add too much humor in his movie, would be to go full Celine Dion or like Cher. So at least we have like the irony and the jokes about it.
Or I just
it's really funny
by Michael Bublé. Like I don't know.
Yeah, or some Sarah McLachlan. Just really go for it.
The way she's looking, it just was too long and too strange. But it was cute that he comes back with a hot dog and gives it to the doggies.
That was her meet cute, Amanda.
That's not a.
I
learned things. It was not one of my top meet cutes. Okay, I think Channing Tatum and Wyatt Russell have a better one in.
Oh my god! Yo, for real though, I really liked Steppenwolf's like his purpose on finding the mother boxes is because he wants to go back home to his family. And I was like, that is so much better than the crap of like.
Yeah, and it helped having like more interaction with Darkseid and Desaad. I think that
Desaad was like, "Told you he'd fall, dude." I love all that. I thought that was great.
Oh yeah, it was so much better. Like I love that he was scared of Darkseid. I love that whole bit where he was just like, "I'm sorry, Mr. Darkseid." Basically, I was like, "That's already you made like the end game way more entertaining than in the Joss Whedon version." Because before I was like, I still don't even with my knowledge of DC, I was like, I don't understand why anybody's here.
Like, what's his purpose? Why is he getting the mother boxes? At least now we know, I think, a little bit better his motivation. And it's not just because he's serving Darkseid, but he also has a deeper purpose. So I'll give that. His backstory, Cyborg's backstory.
I like all of them have a purpose now. It's like, you know, that whole scene of the old gods talking about them fighting Darkseid and all that. That whole scene that once felt out of place now belongs, and it makes sense. Comparing these 5 people to like young gods, right? Like these are the new gods, and these are the people that will fight for this world. I thought that was really cool, and it connected everything. Barry Barry was such an important character at the end. Cyborg, oh man, that scene where he was like, "I'm not broken and I'm not alone." That was beautiful, man. I love that. Like,
and those were
and
good
I hated
character
Cyborg.
scenes.
I hated Cyborg in the original.
Well, because Joss Whedon gave nothing to do but
Well,
stoic and make
Barry-
random cryptic things.
Barry's
happen.
the same way in the original movie. I didn't
Yeah,
like
that's
him
true.
either. And
But man, now don't you wish you could have a Cyborg movie where they have the same visuals as he had in this one? So that
I know,
when he
I
first
love
gets the
when he was
powers,
trying to
you
learn
get to
how to
really see
use
him
his
struggle
powers.
with it.
Yeah, like when he was
I
trying to
want
learn how to
that.
use his body, and it was just the way he was like his
yeah,
body was
see
trying
what I
to
mean?
get
I
the
think the special effects were awesome.
thrusters.
Like the Sad, he looked awesome, man. The way
Yeah.
he moved
Mhm.
around, I thought he was really cool. I don't know. It breaks my heart that this is it. Like, I know you two didn't like it, but I think it hit me that this is it. Like, there might not be any more after this, and there probably won't be. But I would love to see a
We
continuation.
got Hour Man coming now, and Zatanna. So.
Shut up! I don't believe anything DC says until we actually get a trailer, and even then. But I mean, and it doesn't even have to even be Zack Snyder. It could be somebody else doing this movie with these people, and I'm sure Henry Cavill and who's the guy that played Cyborg? They're probably never coming back to WB, but it would just be really cool to see all this play out, to see where it would go.
Mm-hmm.
You never
I'd be fine
know.
as long as it's lighter heart. I understand. I can appreciate his vision, his style.
Mhm.
I've seen his other movies.
Yeah.
But I want something different for these characters. I want the hope that DC gives. Like, there's something that really resonates with me that I don't think was here, and I would have really liked something different. And I agree. I think I feel like we're missing out on something that, like, people don't get to see the real Superman. I think that the TV show right now does a good job of that, but more often than not, we don't get real Superman, and that's what a shame. I want that Superman. People think he's hokey and that he's not going to resonate. I think that they're wrong. I think if you do Superman right, people will like him.
That's why Dad Superman is best Superman.
Dad Superman is best Superman.
Yeah.
Kitty Pryde is best. It's the best
Super
X-Men. Thank you for the super chat. I'd happily watch this in the cinema. I would too. If they open this back up next year, I'd go to the movie theater. Give me 5 more minutes. I'll go watch it. It is funny, though. Amanda and I were talking about this before the show, how there's no way in hell they would have done this as a summer movie for 4 hours long, because summer movies want you to keep going in and out, You're like a factory. Two movies, next people come in. 2 hours, next people come in.
It was cutting it close with Avenger Endgame being 3 hours and 12 minutes. If this movie, if he got to fulfill his vision without any of the Joss Whedon nonsense, all that stuff, what we're seeing now would not be what we would have gotten in 2016. There would have been a lot of that stuff cut out. We all have to realize that.
And it might have been
a once in a lifetime thing that you're probably going to get, because this would never, like, if he decides to make a sequel, movie theaters will come back in. Movie theaters will be open soon, and DC's going to want to make, or not DC, Warner Bros. Want to make as much money as possible. So they're not going to make another 4-hour movie that they're going to throw in the theaters.
I wonder, though, if this is going to open any kind of doors to future projects like this for streaming, where they're like, wait, we can limit movie theater times because we want people constantly going in and out watching our movies. Yeah. But we can certainly make exclusive content for HBOMax, having people to sign on. As long as they can
afford it. I mean, they gave $70 million, but what was the budget already?
Yeah. And if it's already filmed, I think, if it's already filmed.
They redo other films?
Well, I'm thinking of movies like the Richard Donner cut. For anybody that knows, Richard Donner's Superman was butchered to hell, right? And Jesus, I was thinking, oh my God, if we had the internet back then, we would have had the Richard Donner cut of Superman. Yeah. Like, it would have been a year or two. And we've been waiting all this time because all the footage has been filmed. They just need to touch it up and special effects. Yeah. But I think of things like that, like the director's vision of these movies, like the true vision. Because I've always heard I hated Batman versus Superman. Hated that movie. Yeah. And I heard that the director's cut is better, and I still haven't watched it because that movie was just so bad.
I'm halfway through.
This movie right here helped fix that movie, though. Help fix that and Wonder Woman with all the times. Like when he's talking about Lex Luthor and the warning and all that, we didn't get to see that scene with him in the mother box.
No, we did not.
And Steppenwolf showing up and talking about Darkseid and the things that are coming. So I was like, man, it didn't fix him. I'm sorry. It helped me understand them a little bit more, that they weren't such a wreck, because this movie starts with the death of Superman, which is the ending of Batman versus Superman, right? Mm-hmm. That movie, Batman versus Superman, started with the ending of Man of Steel. It's like, holy shit, we're jumping from one movie to another, and it's kind of cool in their own, because this is what Marvel has been doing. and DC was doing it kind of in a rushed way, but it still made me feel like, it is a big universe. All of this connects. Yay!
Yeah. Well, that's what they failed a lot too, right? Because they rushed it. They're like, we got to catch up with Marvel. We've got to go ahead and put our superheroes together. And I think that really hurt it. I still do. And I think also relying like, this Batman movie didn't work. Let's do another Batman. Okay. Maybe that wasn't the best choice. There are other characters. And they've done great. I think Aquaman was good. The first Wonder Woman was good. Shazam was wonderful.
Yeah.
Shazam was so good. To me, that's it. That's DC.
Yes. Like that is fabulous. That was such an enjoyable movie. Yeah. Agreed.
And I hope that we get more. And so far, the like movies we're getting look really like they're gonna be really fun. I hope that they are. Because like I'm still excited. Even after this, I'm like, I don't care. I'm still gonna watch everything. I'm stoked for Zatanna and Black Canary and Batgirl and literally anything they're gonna put out. I'm even gonna watch Suicide Squad. I don't care.
Oh yeah, well it's James Gunn, and who knows?
It looks good.
I think I bet they gives James Gunn a lot more leeway than they gave Zack Snyder, and
see, Cycle. First of all,
I loved Aquaman.
I love.
I mean, it wasn't perfect, but I liked it.
But the movie was at least enjoyable.
It was at least a movie.
We had a lot of fun watching it because
Mira's like Little Mermaid scenes were funny.
It reminded me of an anime. Like the villains were so over the top, and the fighting was like an anime. I loved it.
Very anime.
And it had little Easter eggs in there from what is that horror movie that he does? The one with the doll, Annabelle. Had Annabelle at the end of at the bottom of the water. I remember pointing that out. I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. Aquaman wasn't. Meow Nyan, me too.
But then they would change him up, just like Aquaman's been changed up. Aquaman wasn't Aquaman, but it was so good. I agree with that.
Dax Shepard for Booster Gold. I'm still on standby it.
Yeah, everybody's right. We loved Shazam. Loved it.
Like, yes, what a great. Yes.
Now, we've talked about this movie enough, and it's getting to be to the top of the hour. What would you ladies, after all the conversations and everybody else in the chat that has seen this, and if you're not watching it later, if you're watching this later, leave it in the comments. What would you two ladies give this version, this 4-hour version of Justice League out of 10?
7.5.
7.5. What did you give the Whedon one?
Wow.
6.
Okay. 7.5. Maddie. No pressure. It is your opinion.
What did I give the first one? 3.5?
You said 3.5.
Man, I'm gonna get some hate for this. I think it's a 4. Okay, I'll go 5.
Did you give the Whedon one a 4 too?
No, she gave the Whedon one a 3.5. So she made it go up 0.5, but that's okay. It's your opinion.
I did not like it, and I'll never watch it again.
Oh,
I probably won't watch it again either.
I've watched it twice. I love it. It's 9 out of 10. I love this movie. I thought it was great. It's
once it was over, I was like, I've got to go watch Superman and Lois to like cleanse my palate.
And Kitty Pryde is the best X-Men. Is right. This is a movie that deserves to be in the big screen because it's one of those summer movies to me that reminds me of just having fun watching a movie.
I agree with Jessica.
I think with some tight
series, it would be better.
I think with some tight editing, it would have flowed a little bit better. I see what you're saying, but for me, 9 out of 10. I loved it. I'd watch it just as is in a movie theater and pay money to go see it. It was a lot of fun.
I would have paid money.
Well, I mean, I guess
would have been happy about it.
I kind of did. I have HBOMax.
I paid money for Wonder Woman 84. Actually, I guess Elliot did because we got a private screening, and that was a movie too. That sure was.
Yeah. All right. So far, we have a 1 out of 10 from Elliot. Lohit said, "There's your missing point right there. 11 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. 95 out of 10. 9.5. 9.5. I got you, Chris. 8. 6 out of 10 at a pinch. Maybe 5. 12 out of 10. 6.5. Better than the first, but definitely still not great. 8.5, 8.4 Ibsy. I like it. 4 out of 10. You don't have to go 5, Maddie. You don't have to go 5.
Thank you.
Right. So we've seen Jessica's answer. As a movie, 5.5. As a miniseries, a 6.5. Never ever watching. Phil, you got it.
Yeah, he is glad that we gave him the synopsis.
8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 3.5 was fair for the first one. 4 is fair for this one. I stand with Maddie. That's Michael. You just got here. Not a 6, really. 5 out of 10. The beautiful, bleak, bloated, better ending fight. Yeah, that ending felt a lot more epic. Look at Leo. 7 out of 10 is good, but not a masterpiece.
Chicago.
Are you really comparing
It's hard. I don't know if I can compare the two, but that's not.
Like, let's not compare those type of movies. Like,
no, that it can't be any good because Eric Roberts is in it.
Yes, Eric Roberts. Yes, Jaime gives it a 6 out of 10. Chad Omnidog at 3. Woo, rough. 7 out of 10 from Griffnix, and Tyler gives it an 8.5. Jake gives it an 8. Zlos Comics gives it an 8. We got a lot of people. Don't forget to hit that like button.
Yeah,
9 out of 10 from Steven. T2 Comic Book Reviews and Halls gives it a 3 out of 10. Fuck, Hayden! Dude, the guy
did not like it.
besides voice actor was in Alien 3. Get that point up there. Come on, man. This movie was about father. Dude, I love that dialogue when he was like, fly son, it's time. Woo. I thought that was beautifully done. Boosters, the name, gave it a 8. Matt a 9, 5.5. Infinity Studios, what's up, my buddy Arthur? Gave it a 9 out of 10. Leo's holding a grudge about Moonshine.
Yeah.
Leo,
I do want people to know, like, I love DC, and I have all the DC animated films, and I give them all very high ratings. I love them. So like I can see people would like this, but this isn't my Justice League. So I understand it's beautiful. I give it that, but that's not my crew. That's not my Justice League.
Okay, fair enough. It's your opinion.
Yeah.
And if points up, God bless, fine. 9 out of 10. And
Maddie, 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Maddie, 10 out of 10. Maddie's choice. Tavon gives it 7.5.
Personal.
Okay. 100 out of 10. The New Gods in all their glory. More. Please.
I will say, Francisco, if they had showed Big Barda at all, my score would have been higher.
5.5.
They could only make it to Granny.
They would have thinned her up like you wouldn't have liked it. They would have thinned her up like they would Granny Goodness.
Oh,
yeah, Granny Goodness.
So sad.
With a different version of Brienne of Tarth. Like, it was like, what?
Then we would have
Tarth. Well, that's what Jessica said too when we were watching it. She's like, I think that's Brienne of Tarth. I was like,
yeah. It looked like the haircut and stuff, and I was like, no, it's not her. But why would they make her look like that? Like, to me, that's not Granny Goodness. That's fine.
No. That's something called a placeholder in the CG world. 8.3 out of 10 and a 5 out of 10. Not enough. Honka honka. All right. Justin said 6.32 would have gotten a 7 if they gave Flash a better song.
Gosh, if that song, guys.
An 8 out of 10. God. I'm liking all this, dude. If they made Big Barda skinny, then we'd have to start a hashtag of like bring back the thick.
I'd be so sad because like I understood about Wonder Woman. I came around, but Big Barda, that's a whole nother story. I would be so upset. Oh, Maddie, your fringe disappeared. It's here. My bangs are here. I just pushed them back.
Run really fast and punch out of 10. 10 out of 10 because there wasn't a mustache. That alone.
The mustache was a huge improvement.
Oh, man. I belong to no one. Dude, I still laugh every time she delivers that line. Kal-El, no! Like the way she delivers that line is so unbelievable.
It's so weird.
Like, I love Gal. I think she's a great Wonder Woman, but that line and that delivery was just so funny. Like, totally unintentional, too. I've seen you earlier. Meant to shout out, chat. Was flying. I see you, brother. Connor, are you talking to somebody in there?
Somebody in the chat. Are you talking to them? We see you too, buddy.
We see you, man. 7 out of 10, 5 out of 10 for making 4 hours of sex.
Tyler said that Big Barda is thin.
Thin, though. She just got some wide hips.
Tyler, no.
Oh, no. I got you. John Byrne. Go to John Byrne's run on Superman. He redefined the character, and you'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah, go read Mr. Miracle because she is.
Yeah. She's 7 out of 10.
We do not live in a society. I guess that was never a thing that was ever going to be said in this film.
I forgot about that. And honestly,
I realized that too, Tavon. They never, the Joker never said.
There was something in the trailer that I wish they had kept because the trailer used something that it wasn't in the Whedon cut and it wasn't in this. And oh God, what was it? I thought it was funny and it worked. Maybe it was something between Barry and Batman.
Connor was talking to Logan.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. Shout out.
Hi, everybody from Scotland. Yeah. We live in a world where we get trolled by directors.
That's true.
That's true.
That's why everybody should just stay away from social media.
We get trolled by directors, studios,
actors. I'll never forgive what the actor for Vision, who was like the last name of WandaVision, will be it out. Or no, he said the cameo, right?
Yeah, he's like,
talking about himself.
He said, "I can't wait. This person I've been wanting to act with my entire life," and it was him.
How did that get blown into the?
No, that's not what
Magneto's
got blown
coming.
into it. That wasn't what got blown into it. It was some TV line asked Elizabeth Olsen, "Can we expect any cameos and blah blah?" And she was like, "Oh, I think there's someone that is going to show up that they haven't announced yet. I think it'll be really cool." But then, and
someone said it was like Luke Skywalker-esque.
Yeah, exactly.
The
headline's like, "Well, we have a Luke Skywalker cameo," and then all the other news stories like cover it like that.
Oh, yeah.
TikTok was blowing up.
Yeah, they just don't read the actual article. They read the headline. That's the problem with our world today, guys. People just read the headlines.
Yeah, the Whedon-verse had a weird thing with Steppenwolf in the mother boxes. That was
that was weird.
I don't know what they were trying to do there. Get trolled by Omar and Omniboo. We will never see. You'll see it printed, man. Maddie, it's Mark Skywalker. Yep. Amanda is the movie star guru over here. And she kept talking about this guy named Mark Skywalker. I'm like, who the hell is Mark Skywalker?
No, I was saying Andrew's asked this question a few times. But we were talking about other stuff. I went to college for Japanese. So I took college courses, but I did do a mix of self-study with textbooks and apps and watching TV shows.
She watched a lot of anime. Tell the truth. She
watched live action TV shows, sir.
Whatever. What was Amanda's rating for this movie again?
7.5.
7.5. Lou Camel. That's right. Lou Camel. Johnny Vader. It's Luke Hamill.
That's what I called him, was Luke Hamill. You were like, Luke Hamill.
My bad. I thought it was Mark Skywalker, which was a lot funnier. Why did he keep "What's your superpower? I'm rich" scene? I like that scene.
It's a funny joke.
It's a funny joke.
And apparently it was his scene he wrote in. So
yeah, what is Batman's super? I mean, it's really like that. And it was a great plug for a Mercedes-Benz. So there's that too. I'm sure DC made him, or not DC, but Warner Bros. Made him keep that in too.
Can we discuss Joker and Batman's confrontation? What is that all about? I bet they put their differences aside in this possible future where Superman is evil.
Harley Quinn's dead.
He killed. He said, "I'm gonna effing kill you."
Man, it definitely fits the Batman Joker of this universe, but it does not fit the typical Batman Joker back and forth. Because instead of it just being this fun, oh, I can't kill you, but you suck, Joker, and you'll get yours. Just I'll fucking kill you. Exactly. Okay.
I did like the whole joke.
He did promise Harley Quinn though, so to be fair.
He's like, what did he say? Not a handy. He called it something else. A reach around?
A reach around.
A reach around. That's what he called it.
And that's what they had in the Batman Scott Snyder book. The Batman, they had all these gay innuendos between them. And DC took it out.
I was watching Jessie Gender's review of this, and she was talking about how normally we get this very subtle homoerotic back and forth between the Joker and Batman, because there's always this weird thing going on. Not that it's in any substance. But this, she's but then it wasn't even subtle. He was just who's giving who a reach around? And the Batman's I'll fucking kill you. There's no subtlety. It was just
yeah, killing your adopted son, that doesn't make you snap. The reach around comment.
Yes.
And I'm still sad they killed off Robin before this movie even started. They're nah.
We never even had a Robin.
Never getting Robin.
The whole backstory for this guy.
We didn't get to see that scene, did we? With the Joker, the Robin costume inside of the case again.
No,
because that was in Batman v
Superman. That was BVS. I was talking to my buddy Bryant, and he was talking about how he's surprised. So we all did you all see the cameo? I saw the cameo the second time I watched it of Zack Snyder in the movie. He's sitting. Yeah. Lois Lane is walking out of the restaurant. He's sitting in the restaurant. What he told me is that he put his son in all his movies, and I didn't know that about Zack Snyder's son. He would put his son in all his movies, and he was and he's the perfect age for Robin now. It would have been cool to see a little cameo of his son as Robin. Let's see. Cute. I'm pissed they killed off Dick Robin instead of Jason. Yeah. As it should have.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Snyder was gonna show what happened with Robin in the next movie. Well. I guess we'll all have to wait and see what happens with the
Yep.
WB.
The Robin movie. I'm ready to pitch it. I've been ready for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Give me the Robin movie.
I want to see. There was a fan film done over a decade ago called Grayson. I thought that was. It was. I'm sorry. It was a mini trailer that we're trying to like get studios interested in. I thought that was really cool.
I wish.
Batman by Snyder Volume 2 has been announced. Yes. I was going to make a video on that tonight after this and make it go live tomorrow. I was updating the catalog, or they're updating the catalog right now so they could still sneak more things in the middle of the night. That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah.
Robin walked in on the reach around and the Joker never forgave him.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So,
All right.
9 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. And
5 out of 10?
5? What was it?
I settled on 5 to be nice.
To be nice to Zack Snyder?
I don't know.
To be nice to Ray Fisher because he's been through a lot for this movie.
Snyder fans are so scary. If I rate it below a 5, will they come get me? You know,
I was a little afraid of the Snyder boys. I was like, even my score, I'm like, are they gonna come in?
Snyder boys,
you
two are
the Snyder bros. I'm like, are they gonna come at me because
we are 2 ladies on YouTube? Are you kidding me? We gotta be cute and scared. People like that.
So people were like,
no, I'm just like it's funny to me because and I don't get on social media, so I didn't even know about this whole like I didn't even know people hated Zack Snyder. Like I thought. You know, because I usually watch movies and I'm like, oh, that movie was pretty good. Like Watchmen got a lot of hate and I thought it was okay. But then again, it's Watchmen. I don't think Watchmen should be anything but a comic book, even as great as the HBO show was. I still don't think it should be anything but a comic book.
Yeah.
But I find it interesting to find out that these, like, I think it was Amanda that was telling me about, like, she kind of gave me a history of what's going on with Zack Snyder. Why? Because I was genuinely curious why people hated it before it even came out. And she told me it was because of the fanboys, right? Like he's got his own fan base and they're very toxic. Love the use of that.
Yeah. Because like Zack Snyder himself is real cool. He's like a really cool guy. I really like him. But his fans are.
But to be fair, Star Wars,
I was going to say, aren't all fans like that?
Fans like that too, because if what's his name, you know, if Ryan Johnson ever got to make whatever he was, or was it him supposed to make Last Skywalker, and they just gave it to, or is it
Last Skywalker, Last Jedi?
Rise Skywalker. Sorry, you know, if what if they got their way and got to redo Last Jedi?
Yeah,
like they weren't necessarily nice to a lot of those people. I mean, Kelly Marie Tran basically left social media because of those people.
Yeah,
DC executives got death threats apparently post Justice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of critics online have gotten a lot of death threats for
if you did something bad. Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing I liked it then.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
I had to speak the truth, you guys.
I mean,
end of the day, it's your opinion. I mean, I get shit on for liking or not liking things that other people love, so it's okay.
Raz said it's funny you mentioned that because critics have been behaving in the same way to avoid fan vitriol.
I believe it.
I mean, I see like people who clearly are fans of Zack Snyder, or actually, I would say maybe of I don't know, one way or the other.
We got 4 dislikes. The Snyder fans are coming after us.
This is a masterpiece, and I'm like, okay, can we? I love Tom Holland. I know Cherry sucks, but I still love him as an actor. I know there's issues with Avengers: Age of Ultron, even though I love the Avengers. Like I'm not above understanding there are mistakes in like things I love.
Wait. I think the best meme I saw is that Martin Scorsese took back everything he said about superheroes after watching the Snyder cut.
Oh yeah,
that meme was so awesome.
Because Martin Scorsese like the song choices, man, the song choices.
yeah, I can do without that. I like Whedon's song choices a lot more than I like Snyder's song choices.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of scenes at work, but like the other stuff, I guess because I had just watched the Whedon cut. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. At least we didn't get as much hate yet for the Captain Marvel review was my favorite.
The Captain Marvel review was pretty bad.
Yeah, my 3 most hated videos were like that Captain Marvel video, when I made a video about my favorite LGBT comics, and then reviewing Nubia. Even before I started talking about Nubia, everyone's like, "I've lost all respect for you." I'm like, "Why haven't you started talking?"
Yeah.
I just said I was going to review it.
You just blew Cycle Cleveland's mind. Whoa, Cherry sucks.
To be fair, Tom Holland is excellent in the film.
Now, that's his daughter's favorite song, so that had to make it into the film. Right?
Well,
Yeah,
probably
the
that
whole
is in any
movie-
film. You
yeah,
should any movie. It's
And
fine.
it's a pretty song.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's a great song.
So
But
that
Carrie's
actually works.
okay. It's just okay. It's very drawn out. There's certain parts of the book that Russo brothers chose to put into the film that I don't agree with. And I don't agree with how they chose to frame the entire film either in his relationship with this girl. Because he's not even with her in real life, like the guy who this life is based on. But regardless, it was weird choice to do it. I wanted to focus on his PTSD, not his love of this girl. And that's how it starts.
Oh my God, I got that movie mixed up with the one where he's in a world where they can't talk or women.
No, that's Chaos Walking. Also
Whoops.
not great. Also,
You saw it already?
I haven't seen it because I'm not going to spend money on it. I'll get it when it comes out. But they didn't. Lionsgate just wanted to get rid of the movie so badly they just threw it in theaters.
Oh,
very
man.
few fanfare, not available on streaming.
Hold on a
So
second. Before Leo snaps on us, Leo, what's your Q&A, buddy? What's your Q&A? Guys, the Q&A.
I know.
We're trying with the Q&A.
But I agree with Jessica. I would bump
Oh,
it. Christopher Rose.
Get the hell out of here. All of
I would
you.
too. I've told her that's my favorite song.
ringtone right now. Is
That's
the
my
Kiss from Rose.
Thank you. It's my favorite song, and it's all because of the Batman movies. That's why I love them. Like I have such a
Mine's
weird
a
connection.
Community, but that's fine.
If they put in "Kiss from a Rose," it would have gone up.
That song doesn't make any sense. But my wife.
I
loves
don't care.
it. What is it about that stupid song?
It's gonna be at our wedding. We already requested that like our string quartet play that song.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God your husband said thank God.
Yes.
I want a Snyder cut with Foolish Kate. I like that song. I know I don't like. You want to cancel me too, Raz? I don't like Kiss from a Rose. I never did. It didn't even fit into the stupid Batman. I know, and I grew up in that era, and I saw the video. And hey, man, apparently Heidi Klum liked it though. You know, so mad props to Seal. That's all that matters. I don't keep up with that. That's your thing. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching.
Yeah.
Don't forget to comment down below to let us know what you all would give it. Leo, I guess you got up and left because I did not see a Q&A.
We didn't see your new Q&A.
Yeah, just email us your Q&A, buddy. Amanda, sign us off.
Yes. Okay. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and remember to follow us on all of our social media channels at NeoMakeCon. If you want to support us, check us out on Patreon for as little as $1 a month or more. You can get access to Omar full time.
Not okay. Everybody's got a blind price. So that's okay.
Yes, and then we also have merchandise available on Spreadshop. Correct. So
it's available on Spreadshop.
Yes. So if you want to get some cool Near Make Edition merchandise that none of us are wearing today, you are more than welcome to do so on there. And with that, if it's classy and cool, it must be near mint. Have a great evening, everyone, and we will see you all soon. Good journey.
I love that you kept that. You kept it. All right.